Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 2021-2022 Sports Information Session, featuring an opportunity for you to meet the coaches, find out what's involved in becoming an athlete here at Wekiva High School, or even just becoming a fan, and get all of your questions answered for the upcoming athletic year. We hope that this is an opportunity for you to put some faces with names, which is why we're doing it online, because on campus you can't put faces with anything right now. And so this gives us an opportunity not only for you to see some of the coaching staff, but also for you to, again, ask those questions, and for those who aren't able to join us in person or live right now, we're going to keep this video available on our YouTube channel for on-demand replay. So we've got a lot of information to cover tonight. We're going to start by introducing our athletic administration and our school administration. Then we'll get into the athletic clearance process, which has a couple of extra things this year that you may not have been familiar with if you've done this in the past, or if you're new to sports and you want to know what kind of paperwork needs to be done. We'll touch on that, and then we'll go around the room, the virtual room here, which I will put up on the screen right now so that you can see everybody. These are the coaches that we have here. We have a few more that you can't see who are here audio only, and then we have a few others who weren't available to join us tonight, but we have put all of their contact information in the video description, as well as on WekivaMustangs.com. If you need to get in touch with any of these coaches to express your interest in the sports that they coach, or to ask other questions that may not be addressed here tonight, or if we're not able to answer the questions immediately for you tonight, again, all of their contact information is sitting in the video description. So before we go any further, I want to introduce Wekiva High School's principal, Dr. Tamara Baker-Drayton, to welcome us to tonight's event.
Good evening. How is everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Good. I'm excited for our new year, our new season. I'm glad that we're able to have a little bit of normalcy. I know that Mr. Bruce will, at some point during this meeting, just explain the new and updated COVID protocols in regards to outdoor sports and indoor sports. And so I ask that you really pay attention to those protocols and just understand that we want everyone to be safe when we are participating in our sports. So the one thing I can say is that I'm glad we're able to do more things face-to-face and allow more spectators into our facilities, as we have open capacity right now. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we are being safe. So welcome tonight, and I look forward for this season.
All right, thank you, Dr. Drayton. So without further ado, thank you, Dr. Drayton. So without further ado, I want to introduce and welcome our new athletic director. Joining us as a Mustang this season at Wekiva, Mr. Brian Bruce takes over the reins, and he will be joining us for season 15, if you can believe it. Wekiva opened in 2007, and I have had the pleasure of working with the athletic programs ever since then, and now we get into season 15 with Mr. Bruce taking the helm of the athletic program, and Coach Bruce, we have, as Dr. Drayton just alluded to, it's still not going to maybe quite feel like a normal year, but it is starting to feel a little closer to that, and we are hoping to engage with more of our fans and more of our athletes than we were able to do so last year. So take it away.
Thank you, Mark. Glad to be a part of the Mustang family, and looking upon this year as being trying to get back to a state of normalcy at Wekiva High School. We have most of our students on campus, and we are going to be 100% capacity at this point. That can always change on a moment's notice with all the things that we have going on with COVID, of course. As Dr. Drayton alluded to just a few minutes ago, some of the COVID protocols, if it's an outdoor athletic sporting event, it is recommended that if you're within 6 feet of someone else, that you're having a face covering. If you're in an indoor athletic event on campus, then it is mandatory to wear your face mask and things in the indoor situation. all of our tickets for this year's events, just kind of like last year, will be a part of gofan.co. Once again, that's gofan.co. The tickets for this Friday night's preseason classic football game are live and online. Make sure that if you do not have a smart device, that you print out your ticket off of gofan.co and bring that with you to the gate so we can actually validate your ticket, okay? Tickets this year have been changed by the FHSAA. The home football varsity home football games will be $7, and that is also if we go to any visiting schools as well. We have right now, we're up and running as far as fall sports are concerned. Football is getting ready for this Friday night's game at home against Miami Norland Senior High. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Coach Schwartz is getting all of the players ready to go with his coaching staff. And if you still are interested, if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you're interested in playing football at Wekiva High School this season, make sure you go into WekivaMustangs.com and go under Forms and Docs. And when you click on that drop-down box, the first thing that you should see appear is the actual athletic clearance. And you can actually create your own profile there on the athletic clearance. And then you can go through the procedures to make sure that you get cleared so you can actually participate this year in athletics. Our girls volleyball team will be opening their preseason event this Thursday night at St. Cloud High School in their preseason classic. So we'll be trying to get the very first sporting event going. And then golf, bowling, cross-country, swimming will get their season started a little bit later in the fall, next week and the following week after that. There's also Sideline Cheer that's this fall. We have a brand new Sideline Cheer and competitive cheer coach this year. Her name is Miss Jacquetta.Woods. She is a coach that works off campus but is there every afternoon down in the cafeteria area. If you're interested in that, then you would go through the same processes as all the other athletes as far as getting yourself ready to go through your athletic clearance if you're willing to participate. Remember, there's a minimum GPA of 2.0, but most of our head coaches are trying to push for getting our athletes at a minimum of a 2.5 or higher. Hopefully, we'll all meet that challenge and step up and meet the requirements that we need if we want to move on after high school and, seek out a higher secondary degree. So if you have any questions about anything, I'm in the 400 hallway in the 402 office. You can come by and see me, or you can shoot me an email at brian.bruce@ocps.net. All right. Thanks, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you out for all the athletic sporting events for Wekiva High School this season.
All right, thank you, Coach Bruce. Appreciate that. And again, we'll circle back to, I know some of those coaches that you mentioned aren't able to join us on the call tonight, so thank you for speaking for them. And we do have several other coaches. Before I get into anything more, I also want to mention that the live chat function on YouTube is turned on. Obviously, that's not going to help you if you're watching this on demand replay, but if you are watching this live at 7:12 p.m. on Tuesday, August 17th, then you can, if you have a question that you want to make sure we cover, go ahead and punch it in there. I will see those as they come in, and I'll make sure to pass those questions on to the appropriate coach. And if we're able to answer them for you tonight, great. And if it's something that we can't answer for you tonight, then we can connect you with a coach who can get that answered for you. So feel free to type those in, and if it isn't something we were already going to be covering, then I'll make sure that it gets added to the agenda. So let's talk about, first of all, what sports do we offer? And I wanted to start here because it occurs to me that particularly with our incoming freshmen who are used to middle school sports schedules, or maybe you're moving in from out of state, you may not even know when the different sports are playing. You're asking me, when are softball tryouts? Well, not for a while because they don't play until spring. But maybe you didn't know that. And so we don't want to assume that all of our incoming freshmen know all the sports that are offered and when they play. So let me start with the fall sports. And that includes bowling. We have Coach Vasquez with us. We'll talk about that in a second. We have cross country. We have Coach K and Coach Maggie who will talk about that. Football, of course, I think everybody knows that, is a fall sport and actually bleeds a little bit into winter if you're successful enough at it and get into the playoffs. Then you, of course, have golf. That is a fall sport as well. Swimming and diving. And finally, volleyball, girls volleyball specifically. Volleyball is one of those unusual ones where the boys and the girls both play the sport, but not at the same time. And that is arranged that way by the FHSAA to maximize opportunities for athletes who want to participate in multiple sports. So the fall sports, you can count on those running between August and November. And as Coach Bruce mentioned a little bit ago, it varies. They start within a 3 to 4 week window of each other. They don't all have exactly the same season, but they all fall more or less into the August to November time frame. Then we get into the winter sports. Those start up in November, usually just before Thanksgiving, and they run through February. That would include boys and girls basketball. They run concurrently to each other. Competitive cheerleading. Now, Coach Bruce mentioned sideline cheerleading is already getting underway, but competitive cheerleading, where you actually compete for trophies and medals as part of the FHSAA State Series, that is considered a winter sport. Then, of course, you have soccer, boys and girls. Those run concurrently. They run very similar timeline to basketball. Weightlifting for girls only. The boys' weightlifting season will be in the spring. Again, that is to accommodate athletes who like to participate in multiple sports to try to avoid having multiple things they're participating conflicting with each other. And then finally, wrestling. That would be a spring sport that has a little bit of an unusual season. There's the season for team events, and there's also the season for individually bracketed tournaments. That is a winter sport as well. Then finally, we get into the spring sports. This is where we have the most things going on at the same time, but a lot of it is not on campus because they are various kinds of venues. First of all, baseball and softball. I think that's something that's familiar to everybody as being a spring sport, even at the professional level. Flag football. So that would be the girls' equivalent of tackle football that happens in the fall. Lacrosse for both boys and girls happens in the spring as well. Tennis is also a spring sport. Track and field. Boys volleyball, again, we mentioned earlier, the girls play in the fall, the boys play in the spring. Water polo and boys weightlifting. So those are the 8 sports that play in the spring. And then finally, I wanted to mention a couple of things that you don't typically think about when you think about the athletic programs, but are very much an integral part of what we do here. Year-round, we have athletic training, and we also have broadcast production. So if you or someone you know maybe is not the type of person who is on track to be a star athlete, but loves sports and loves being around sports, definitely consider one of these programs. We have a student athletic training program that goes out to the events and provides support for our athletes to make sure that they're taped up and iced when they need to be iced. And if there is an unfortunate injury during a game, to try to mitigate that and take steps on the field, determine if further action needs to be taken, to get them off the field, evaluating concussion protocol, heat illness prevention. So particularly if you are interested in a medical field or in a sports medicine kind of field, definitely get a hold of Brian Berg, who actually just joined us. So I'm going to admit him right now. And Mr. Berg, welcome to the call. And we were actually just talking about athletic training and the student athletic training program, and encouraging any students who may be interested in sports medicine or who may be interested in being around sports, even though they may. And some of our student athletes are also athletic trainers in their off season. So they'll play one sport, and then when they're not playing that sport, you'll see them at other sports that they don't play, helping out other athletes, because the knowledge that you gain in athletic training about, how to stay healthy as an athlete is definitely applicable to you on a personal level as well, as an athlete participating yourself. So definitely don't want to forget about the athletic training program being mentioned alongside all of our other sports. And then finally, broadcast production, which is something that's near and dear to my heart. I have been working with Keith Dickerson, our broadcast production teacher, who is with us on the call tonight. We'll talk to him in just a minute about the broadcast production aspect and, more broadly speaking, sports information. So we can always use more people to assist with the off the court, off the field aspects of our athletic programs, whether that's statisticians, scorekeeping, videography, because our teams will take videographers with them even to away games that we may not be broadcasting because they need that game film for their own coaching. Any number of those kinds of support activities. And then, of course, what we're most famous for, which is getting all of our sports onto YouTube and NFHS network. We have a robust program that's involved in doing that. So if you like computer programs with lots of buttons, if you like cameras with lots of buttons, or you're interested in broadcast production or sports information, like writing for WekivaMustangs.com or yearbook photography or anything like that, definitely get in touch with me or with Mr. Dickerson, and we will make sure that you are in the right places at the right times. So before I jump into, and Mr. Berg, feel free to jump in here, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the eligibility checklist, because before you can do anything with any of our athletic programs, you have to become eligible. And this is a process that you have to go through every year. And it has changed a little bit this year. And Mr. Bruce referred to this a little bit at the beginning of the call. So if you've ever done high school athletics before, you are probably familiar with Form EL2 from the FHSAA. That's your physical that makes sure that you are in good shape and that it is safe for you to participate in the strenuous activities and play at the high school level. That's something that has to be done every year, and it's good for 12 months. So we always recommend to our students that if you can get this done over the summer, it's best to do this over the summer, because then it's valid for the whole year, because you do have to get it renewed, and it expires 1 year from the date that it is stamped. You can find the instructions for all of this on WekivaMustangs.com under Forms/Docs that will link you to the athletic clearance system and walk you click by click through the process. The instructions also have a blank copy of the EL2 and the OCPS electrocardiogram reports. Those are the only two documents that you need to print, fill out the old-fashioned way, and then upload. Every other form, every other signature, that's now fully online. You can sign those electronically as you complete the clearance wizard. The electrocardiogram is the new item for this year. That's an OCPS requirement, not an FHSAA requirement. The good news about this is that as long as you have a normal result and it's not indicated that you need to repeat it, this is a one and done thing. So this is not a thing that you're going to have to repeat every year. Once it's on file forever. Again, unless you have a medical condition that would indicate that you should get it done again. That form, again, is part of the instruction packet, and we have had several events that have offered that at Wekiva. You can also get it from your primary care provider. Most doctors' offices have the ECG or EKG machine that they can take care of that for you. It may very well be included in your wellness benefits with your insurance. If not, they're usually very inexpensive. And then finally, the other item you need for your checklist before you can really get into the athletic clearance process is there are 3 online courses that you need to take from the National Federation of High Schools. That would be concussion for students, heat illness prevention, and sudden cardiac arrest. That's important information that you need to know so that you can stay safe, particularly for those who are in outdoor sports and compete in the grueling heat of the Florida sun. We want to make sure that you stay safe, and so those courses are required every year. You'll get a certificate at the end of the course, and then you can simply download that and then upload it into your clearance when you're going through that. Besides those eligibility items, other documents that you need, you will need a birth certificate. That's, again, something we only need from you once. The reason we ask for the birth certificate is because you cannot have turned 19 before July 1st. If you turn 19 before July 1st, you're automatically ineligible because you've aged out of high school athletics at that point. And we're required to verify that. The second document, other than the clearance eligibility documents that you need, is proof of insurance if you have it. So when you get to the is the student covered by insurance question, you should always, always, always answer yes, even if you don't have insurance. Because if you have your own insurance, you'd list that information, upload a copy of your insurance card when you get to that step. If you don't have your own insurance, then you would list School Insurance of Florida as your company and OCPS as your policy number, and then when you get to the part where you're supposed to upload the card, just skip that. The school insurance provided by OCPS is limited and only applies to official team activities that occur during the season. season. So it's recommended that you carry your own insurance, and if you need an affordable plan to supplement the OCPS athletics policy, Orange County has partnered with schoolinsuranceonline.com. They have some affordable policies that you can get that will go alongside that. Some other eligibility requirements. These are not necessarily things that you need to upload. These are just things you need to be aware of. Mr. Bruce alluded to this at the beginning of the call. 2.0 or more cumulative unweighted GPA. Those words are all important. Cumulative, not semester. So the mistakes of your past can come back to haunt you because it's not just your most recent GPA. It is your total GPA throughout high school. And also it is unweighted. So honors and AP classes don't help you there. It's a strict unweighted GPA. Exception would be first semester freshmen. Even if you took high school courses in middle school, we don't enforce a GPA requirement for first semester freshmen because you don't have enough of a course load yet for us to calculate one. There's a maximum of 8 semesters from your 9th grade matriculation date. Once you have been eligible for 8 semesters from your 9th grade matriculation date, you are not eligible anymore. Also, absolutely no hazing, bullying, or unsportsmanlike conduct. That can cause you to lose your eligibility real fast. And then finally, no money, gifts, or donations for participation. The FHSAA is a strictly amateur league, so you cannot be sponsored. And then finally, we wanted to mention some special eligibility situations. I'm not going to go into detail about these because they tend to be more uncommon situations, but I want to point them out because if one of them does apply to you, then you definitely need to have a conversation with Mr. Bruce about it. For traditional students who are regularly zoned for, enrolled at, and attending Wekiva and who have never attended high school anywhere else, that's it. No other eligibility documentation is required. But if you are, if you have previously attended another high school, then there's a form you need to fill out that is a eligibility form to make sure that you have not been recruited. If you are a home, charter, private, virtual, alternative, or special school student, and the sport that you want to play is not offered by the program that you're attending, you may be able to play at a public school such as Wekiva, but there is paperwork involved in that. And then finally, youth exchange students, international students, or immigrant students, again, can play, but there is extra paperwork involved. And then finally, freshmen and sophomores whose cumulative GPA has fallen below 2.0, but who have achieved a semester GPA of 2.0 or more during their ineligible term, you may be able to complete an academic performance contract to temporarily regain your eligibility until you can get your cumulative GPA up by the end of your sophomore year. Again, I'm not going to go into great detail about any of those because they only apply to certain people, but if those situations apply to you, make sure that you have that contact with Mr. Bruce so that you can work those issues out before you have tryouts and practices and competitions bearing down on you and you end up missing games because you didn't get that stuff taken care of ahead of time, because some of that paperwork can take a little while to get done if those situations do apply to you. So before I go any further, do I still have Mr. Berg on the call? Yes. Did I cover everything that you would have wanted me to cover as far as athletic training and eligibility goes?
Yeah, you covered it all.
Excellent. So thank you for verifying. And again, if you have any other questions specifically when it comes to the athletic clearance process, if you have, I got a physical done already and I only have it in hard copy, or I turned in a hard copy last year to the school, or you have other questions about the eligibility process, Mr. Berg is your go-to resource. And if you are interested in becoming a student athletic trainer yourself, Mr. Berg is also your resource for that. And then also, before we get into the actual coaching staff for the individual programs, I do want to offer Mr. Dickerson real quick, if you want to give a shout out and a sales pitch for the broadcast production program and the cool and awesome things that we have been doing with that over the last few years, and this year looks to be better than ever.
Yeah, really fortunate to have you and Neil from the Apopka Chief. I don't know if Neil's in here, Mr. Fisher. And then obviously our awesome administration for both Wekiva High School. And I'm actually a cool program that's also with Orange Tech. So we've been very fortunate, really blessed. A lot of equipment and fundraising and stuff like that's taken place. Our students are able to go out and kind of do an ESPN broadcast, as you've put it to everybody when we're out together. For family and parents everywhere, obviously having YouTube is a great asset because we've had a lot of students that, maybe they moved to this country to stay with family, or, some people are off in military or doing jobs out of state, what have you. They're actually able to watch this anywhere. We had a kid last season, Mark, I think their grandma in Spain was watching us like at 2 a.m. there while they were playing in the soccer game or something. So that was really cool. Would love to have anyone that wants to be a part of the program. You can actually join the program now this year. Looks like they changed some of the post-secondary state law things. Freshmen and sophomores can actually start my level 1 program. And I kind of do it as a volunteer basis if you want to come out and hang out and film the home games and whatnot. And then my level 2 and 3 kids, obviously put them up to bat, so to speak, and they come out. They got to do 1 a month and, support our awesome athletics and coaches and players and everybody. So thank you, everybody, for letting me be a part of this. This is awesome.
Great. So thank you, Mr. Dickerson, for that partnership. I mean, I know we were doing this kind of toothpicks and bubblegum for a couple of years, and then we really solidified that partnership between the athletic program and the broadcast production program, and from there it really has evolved into a really high quality product that I think rivals what any school in Florida is doing. So that's something we're really proud of, and something that, in spite of the fact that you and I are both recent fathers, and so we have some other priorities that are eating at our time for all the right reasons. That's something that we have now, I think, gotten enough people involved who are familiar with it and know what they're doing, that we can keep up what we have been doing and know that it's in good hands, that we have people we can kind of spread out the capacity and the responsibility. So that's something we look forward to continuing to do this year. So with that said, let's get into the fall sports first, and I'm just going to go alphabetically by the coaches that are here and joining us. And so I'm going to start with Coach Lennon Vasquez. He is our bowling coach as well as our Wekiva wrestling coach, and he is going to talk a little bit about those programs.
Hey guys, can you hear me, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hey, Mark, thank you for hosting this. Definitely want to attest to the professional video production that you guys do, you and Mr. Dickerson. Anytime we have teams over, they're so excited because they get to watch those videos online, have their parents watch them. So definitely a wonderful product. As far as bowling goes, we have practices Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the Bolero Lanes. That's 3 p.m. to 4:30. We're still looking for a few bowlers. So if you're interested, reach out to me. I'm in room 414. No experience needed. We have a pretty good team coming back. Runner-ups in the conference last year, but we're definitely always looking to have some young talent come in. Again, no experience needed. See me in room 414. And as Mr. Barchi mentioned, wrestling, it is a winter sport. So we're gonna have an interest meeting sometime in September. So just, be on the lookout for that. The season starts in November. So I'm not going to keep you guys longer. We have quite a few sports, but thank you for your time.
And thank you, Coach Vasquez. And I'll take that opportunity to also throw out a sales pitch for our social media channels. So some of the coaches, particularly the fall sports coaches, have already set up their interest meetings and have them, and we've posted them on social media. Some of them are still working on getting those scheduled. So if you are not already, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We are at Wekiva Sports on all 4 of those services, and that is where we also, of course, have Wekiva Mustangs.com, and that is where we post all of that information when we have interest meetings or when we have tryouts, or as we get a little closer to some of these seasons. That's where you're going to want to stay plugged in. And also, if you know, like, I definitely am interested in playing that sport and I want to make sure I don't miss it when it comes up, again, all the email addresses for every single one of these coaches is sitting in the video description. Make sure you reach out to them and express your interest, and they'll make sure that you don't miss out when the interest meeting and or the tryouts come up for that. So moving on then, next up I want to invite, make sure I pronounce this right, Nehemie.Magloire, or Coach Maggie as she goes by, to talk about, she is no stranger to Wekiva, has been a part of the Wekiva community for quite some time, but now is going to be the first year as the head coach of our girls cross country team. So take it away, Coach Maggie.
Coach Maggie. All right. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for hosting this. Definitely want to test to the Wekiva High School Hey, it's Nehemie.Magloire.
Nehemie, thank you.
Better known as Maggie. Yes, I am the girls' head coach for cross country. The time for cross country is 2:45 to 4:45, Monday through Friday. I am in the front office, so if you have any questions for me, by all means, stop by the front office, and then I can assist you all for cross country.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't miss Coach Maggie. You can't miss her on the way into the school. And I think that many of our coaches, even for fall sports, will have the same attitude toward this. But it's not too late. I know cross country already had their interest meeting and their formal tryouts on paper. But if for whatever reason you missed the memo on that, or you weren't able to attend, or you didn't see the announcement, or maybe you're a new freshman who is moving from out of the area and didn't get here on time for that, it's not too late to get involved. So as Coach Maggie mentioned, 2:45, come out to the track, make sure you get your clearance done with Mr. Berg first, and become a part of Wekiva cross country. On the guys' side of that, I want to welcome Coach Kawayne.Hunter to the broadcast to talk about the boys cross country team.
How you doing, guys? Coach K. I'm the boys head coach for cross country. Just along with Coach Maggie, we'll be working together. We're both Wekiva alumni. Taking our talents to the coaching rim now. For one, if you're a track guy or girl, this is a perfect opportunity to go ahead and start getting conditioned. If you play any other sport, and your sport may be in the fall or in the spring, this is a perfect opportunity to get conditioned. Trust me, you will thank yourself, and your coach will also thank you. It's something to try, just to get out there and be the best version of yourself. We're here to get better and have fun. So if you're interested, again, see Coach Maggie because she's on campus. I'm actually off campus. I will be there every day at 2:45 to greet you guys and get the practice started. All right? Go Mustangs.
All right, thank you, Coach Hunter. And I think I could be wrong on this. I know Coach Griffin was the first Wekiva alumna to come back as a coach and faculty member. I don't know if there have been any others, so you may be the second and third Wekiva alumni to come back on the coaching staff. So we're delighted to have you join the coaching staff this year. Next up would be our football program. Coach Schwartz, not surprisingly, is occupied at the moment, getting his team ready for the preseason classic. Coach Bruce, I think, already covered the football program pretty well. Again, preseason classic coming up at 7 o'clock this Friday. And again, even though the football team has been at it for some time now, if you have just moved into the area, you missed the announcements, you just enrolled at Wekiva, and you want to get involved in football, and you're thinking, oh gosh, I've missed the boat, I'm going to be out of it for this year. It is actually not too late. Particularly on the JV and freshman teams, there are still opportunities to get involved with that, so definitely reach out to Coach Schwartz. That's Jeremiah.Rodriguez-Schwartz at OCPS.net, and get your athletic clearance done if you haven't already, and come out to practice, and they'll see if they can put you to work. Also, before we leave the topic of cross country, I would also throw out a sales pitch for that even if you don't think of yourself as a runner, even if you don't think of yourself as a cross-country athlete, cross-country, like track and field in the spring, is a great way to get in shape and stay in shape. If you are a basketball player or a soccer player or a softball player, and you're in anything that benefits from being able to run fast, which pretty much all of the sports do, except for swimming, which depends on swimming fast, but that cardio still helps. That can be a great thing to participate in a sport like cross country or track, even if that's not what you traditionally thought of as the name you wanted to make for yourself as a high school athlete. So I'll throw that out there as well. Next up, I want to call on Coach Eric.McCall, who is our golf coach. And so take us to the links, Coach McCall. Oh, you're muted, Coach.
All right. Sorry about
There we
that.
go. No problem.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark, for putting this together. Once again, wow. The summer goes by real quick, and we're back on the links playing golf. I will be hopefully, the first to say, hey, 15 years, Wekiva, this should be something that we put together as sort of like a special 15-year, I don't know, we made it type of thing. It's an honor to be a part of this school and going on my 9th year here coaching. Fortunately, as far as COVID protocols are concerned, golf is one of those outdoor sports where we're able to maintain a social distance. The PGA Tour last year was the first to come online and actually hold tournaments, albeit without spectators. That we feel, and the area director and Florida High School Sports feel fairly confident that we're able to provide a safe playing experience for the players. If you are interested in playing golf for Wekiva High School, I'm on campus. I am in 633. Be more than happy to have you guys come out. A little bit of experience would be nice. I'm not a golf teacher, more of a golf coach, help you figure things out if I can. Once again, it's just great to be a part of the 15th year here at Wekiva High School. I'm excited for the season. I've got a good kid coming through the ranks, 11th grader. He's probably gonna, if he plays well, he'll make it to states next year or this year. So go Mustangs, like Kay said, Mr. Hunter said, go Mustangs. We're here. We're ready.
All right, thank you, Coach McCall. Next up, I want to introduce Coach Markeith.Williams, who is the head coach of our swimming program as well as our water polo program. Collectively, we like to refer to those as Wekiva Aquatics. And so, Coach Williams, take it away.
Hey, guys, how you doing? Hey, so like you said, I run the aquatics program, which is swimming in the fall and then water polo in the spring. And so with swimming, I'm hoping to get more athletes. We have a special year this year. We got some great seniors that are coming back, and we're going to do some special things. We got a chance in swimming to send one of our players, one of our swimmers to regional, Blake Steger, and I'm hoping to send him back and a couple others that are going to be working really hard and ready to go. Look, our swimming program, we've got, if you've been watching the Olympics, you'll see that there are 12 different events. So it's kind of like track. Get you in there if you're interested in being a part of something that will get you in shape, and you'll be able to compete in short and long type activities. Come on out. Looking forward to having more of us. We got about 20 players now, swimmers, and we can use a few more. So we practice at Lake Brantley High School. It's an outdoor pool, chlorinated, by the way. And we practice Monday through Friday right now until our first meet, which will be on the 1st of September. We practice from 3 to 5 at Lake Brantley High School. So I'm looking forward to having a few more come out. And our tryouts are going on right now, all the way up till Friday. But I'll accept anyone that wants to come out and be a part of this team. Please come on out. We have a fundraiser on the 25th, and look on the website. Once we get approved, you'll be able to see that fundraiser, come out and support us and be a part of the aquatics family. We go out and have a really good time, and got a really good support system behind us with our team parents. 15 meets, regionals, hopefully going on to states, and we're ready to go. So come on out. I'll help you with your stroke. We got 4 different strokes. I'll help you with any one of the strokes, and we'll be able to be a part of this team.
Well, thank you, Coach Williams. And I know I actually, for the first several years that I was calling games at Wekiva, had not really gone to any of the swimming or water polo events until you invited me out to do a few of them over the last couple of years. And when you say that it is a family, it most definitely is. Like it's a very tight-knit group of student athletes that you have there, and it is a cool experience to be a part of that. So definitely talk to Coach Williams if you are interested. And boy, I'll tell you what, particularly when you get into water polo season, that's one that I always marvel at. I say, every other sport, the worst that happens to you is you just fall over. With water polo, like you gotta not drown. And I'm always so impressed by that egg beater technique that they do to propel themselves a couple of feet out of the water, even without the ability to touch bottom. I consider it a success if I make one end of the pool or the other without drowning. So it's a really cool thing. And as you mentioned, if you did miss the first round of tryouts or the interest meetings, it's not too late to get involved in that. So next up, I want to talk about volleyball. That is Coach Heather.Lorenz, who was an assistant coach with us for a while and is now coming back for her second season as the head coach of Wekiva Volleyball. She is on the call and listening, but she is driving. So she has asked if I could take lead for this conversation, and if I say anything that is too egregiously wrong, then she will pull over and unmute herself and yell at me, I'm sure. But the Wekiva Volleyball is already getting underway. That is one of the first fall sports to actually compete. They're already getting into preseason classic action, and then they've got some games next week that they're looking forward to. That being said, it is, again, not too late, particularly for the JV team. If you are new to volleyball and you missed the tryouts or you missed the interest meeting, perhaps you just didn't see it, or you're newly enrolled at Wekiva, coming into the area, and again didn't have an opportunity to get out there last week. Definitely get a hold of Coach Lorenz. Her email is in the video description and on WekivaMustangs.com, and they can see if they can plug you into their program. But I'm particularly excited about the varsity team this year because I believe all but one of their athletes are returning. So it will be almost exactly the same team we had last year. So that will really build some consistency with that program and allow them to really build on the success that they started to achieve last year. I know we have one newcomer that we're excited to bring on board as well. And actually, speaking of that newcomer, we did have a question come in related to volleyball on the comments. I heard there's a beach volleyball team starting this year. Is that true? That is somewhat true. The FHSAA is on kind of a trial basis starting to sanction beach volleyball programs that would occur in the spring. It is not yet something that we are ready to commit to at Wekiva, because once you commit to that, you have to build a district schedule and then compete at the district level. And if you don't, then the school can incur a penalty because the FHSAA has to have stable districts in order to build their tournament brackets and in fairness to other schools. So I cannot promise you that Wekiva is going to end up fielding a beach volleyball team, but if that's something that you're interested in and something that you want to be a part of as a Wekiva athlete, then definitely make sure that Coach Lorenz and Mr. Bruce are aware of that interest, because that's how we know whether that's an investment that we can take. That would be the newest sport to join the FHSAA sanctioned sport family that is coming up this year for the first time. Well, I take that back. That is the newest variation of a sport. Girls wrestling also this year. We've been offering girls wrestling for a while, but it's always been a non-sanctioned activity that those tournaments were put on independently from the FHSAA, and now the FHSAA has finally begun sanctioning girls wrestling as being separate and distinct from boys wrestling. So those will now be true state tournaments rather than being independently arranged. So I'm sure Coach Vasquez is excited about that, and I know the rest of us are as well. So that, I believe, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. That takes us through all of the fall sports. So without further ado, I want to move on to the winter sports. And by the way, keep those questions coming in on the live chat. If there's something that you wanted to know that we didn't already cover, we'll try to get that answered for you. If you have a question for one of the upcoming coaches, pop that in there. I'll make sure to ask it to them when they come up. But I am going to start with our defending state runner-up, Coach Tommie.Butts of the girls basketball and flag football programs. Coach Butts. And also, from a couple of years ago, Teacher of the Year. So, star on the court, star in the classroom, Coach Butts.
Good evening, everybody. I want to say, first of all, I know this sounds redundant, Mark. You do a fabulous job, you and Keith. And on behalf of the administration with Dr. Baker Drayton, appreciate this opportunity for us to get this information out to all the parents and all the kids that's interested in playing sports. I'm going to be brief. Girls basketball will have an interest meeting on Thursday, August 19th. It's going to be from 2:30 to 3:30. Flag football will start after the winter break, so that'll be in January. All the information that Mark put out as far as like eligibility and physicals, we'll have to follow those protocols. But all that information will be given out to the girls on Thursday. And I will communicate that out to the parents once the girls give me their email addresses, and I'll send that stuff out to the parents as well.
All right, thank you, Coach Butts. And one thing I will put in a plug for as far as girls basketball goes, that if you know the legacy of Wekiva girls basketball and the fact that, you know, I have 6 medals hanging on my closet behind me, and just the history of quality that the girls basketball program has at Wekiva, you may, if you're new to the sport of basketball, you may be intimidated into thinking like, oh, that's not for me. I would offer to you that Coach Butts' partner in crime, LaToya Russ, who runs the JV program at Wekiva and the freshman program, when we're able to get enough girls to play those games, is just nothing short of phenomenal. And the reason that we have such amazing talent at the varsity level every year is because of the quality of that JV program and the real boot camp that she introduces those girls to really develop their talent, and so that we have a constant stream of talent coming into the varsity program, no matter how hard we get hit by graduation. So, that being said, if you think that girls basketball is in your future, and you don't have a lot of experience with it, don't let the fact that you don't think you're ready to play on the state championship team stop you from going to those interest meetings and seeing what it's all about.
And Mark, let me just add, let me give credit to my coaching staff. I have a tremendous coaching staff. Brian Griffin and LaToya Russ, Coach Spearman, and Coach Moultrie. They all do a fabulous job with the girls. We're family oriented, and we try to use basketball as a tool to get the girls to actually deal with life adversities and situations. So I just want to actually make sure everybody's aware of that.
Thanks, Coach Butts. And that's a good point for really all of our athletic programs. Something that I'll say, and this is on a personal note for me, a big contribution to the reason that I have thrown so much time and energy into volunteering at Wekiva as the sports information director and announcer for the last 14, now will be 15 years, is that I really, really believe in what amateur athletics can do. Not just for getting you scholarships into college and getting you the experience you need to play at the next level, but just for teaching discipline and commitment and teamwork and turning you into the all-star adult that you can be at maximum potential coming out of high school. In a way that really dovetails with what the academic side of classroom learning does. And all of our coaches at Wekiva, I think, do a tremendous job of that. Certainly none more so than Coach Butts and his team with the girls basketball program, but really all of them. So that's something that I think we can be really proud of at Wekiva, and is really the driving force behind my continued participation in it. So on the topic of basketball, we have Coach Lubin here with us as well. So I'm going to ask him to talk a little bit about the men's basketball program.
Good evening, Wekiva Nation. I am definitely fortunate to be entering my 8th year as the boys basketball coach, as well as my 4th year as the boys volleyball coach. As the other coaches mentioned, I am super fortunate to be working with Mark, who does an amazing job, as we all know, announcing our games and putting on YouTube, and just, you know, the time he dedicates to our program is unsurmounted. So I'm very, very grateful to Mark. And also having our new AD, Bruce, who's very hands-on and wanting to see our program succeed, of course, headed by Dr. Drayton and all that she does as far as supporting the program. So very appreciative to be part of this athletic family, to be part of the staff. And Keith, I'm sorry, and also Mr. Dickerson doing an awesome job as well, doing the headshots and putting together a schedule, a calendar schedule for us. All those things that as coaches we cannot do. So I'm so grateful and fortunate that they are able to help make the program look good, in turn make Wekiva look good. As far as the boys basketball, we are going to have a interest meeting September 4th at 3 o'clock after school in room 537. I will forward those information to Mark, and he will put it on social media. So I highly advise you to, check social media as to as a reminder as when the interest meeting will be, as well as an interest meeting sometime in February for volleyball, boys volleyball. We're fortunate to be returning experienced players this year, and we look forward to representing the Wekiva family and hopefully attain some of those goals that Coach Butts has been getting for the past couple of years. Once again, Coach Lubin, and very excited and looking forward to a successful and great year.
All right, thank you, Coach Lubin. And then, again, I did want to mention that competitive cheerleading is also a winter sport. I don't see Coach Woods on the call with us tonight, but if you are interested in cheerleading and have not already expressed that, she is in charge of both the sideline and the competitive programs. As a first-year coach at Wekiva, we're really excited at what she's going to bring to our cheerleading program this year, so definitely make sure you reach out to her. And then, of course, wrestling we already touched on with Coach Vasquez earlier. So then, that being said, let's talk about soccer, and we'll begin with the girls team. And I saw him up here a minute. There we go. Coach Jermaine.McCoy is our new soccer coach for the girls this year, hoping to build on the success that they have established over the last couple of seasons. So take it away, Coach McCoy.
Afternoon, everybody. Dr. Drayton, Mr. Bruce, co-workers, colleagues, thank you guys for having me. So as mentioned, this is my first year actually coaching at a high school. I'm coming over from Memorial Middle School, where I was actually both female and soccer coach there. I'm also a soccer player. I'm actually from Kingston, Jamaica, where I played, all levels of soccer there. Right, so for me, it's a matter of I'm coming here with, that experience, the knowledge of the game, both on the field as well as off the field. For me, I'm still learning here at Wekiva. I just want to say a big thank you to both male soccer coaches who have been there for me, who have been showing me the ropes. As I said, I'm still learning. I've sent out, I've created a flyer. Right, we're planning to have an interest meeting sometime next week. We're still waiting on the approval from Mr. Bruce. Set out for maybe I think it's the 26th, next week Thursday. Right. For me, it's all about learning. It's my first time that I'm gonna actually be coaching female in isolation, meaning I've coached males, but I've integrated females into the male team, right? So this is actually my first time coaching female, right? So for me, it's all about learning the culture, doing my best, right? I mean, once I'm reaching out to students, students with the right attitude, students who want to learn the sport, students who want to do well. because I'm a hard worker. So I'm actually looking for a hard worker as well, right? So for me, it's about, building that partnership with not only the students, but also you guys, the parents, and as the school motto says, we are strong, we are great, we are Mustangs, we are one. So I know that we can do it once we all, come together and work together. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, thank you, Coach McCoy. And before we leave the topic of soccer, I want to invite Coach Glick to speak on behalf of the boys soccer program as he returns to that program this year. Coach Glick.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm the boys soccer coach. This is my third year here. Our interest meeting is actually a week from tonight. It'll be next Tuesday, 3 p.m. in room 627. If you have any questions or aren't able to make it, you can either email me or talk with Chef M. He's in that same hallway. And yeah, just looking forward for another big season. And speaking of what Mr. Dickerson and Mr. Barchi were talking earlier, our games are often streamed in other countries, and it's really great to get the feedback from them. So thanks, guys. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you all next week.
All right, thank you, Coach Glick. So then I believe that we have now covered all of the winter sports. And so I want to move on to some of our spring sports now. And to start things off, I want to invite, I don't see Coach Scudero, but I do see Coach Griffin, who I see Coach McGowan as well, to talk about our softball program and girls weightlifting. So this will be kind of the bridge between winter sports and spring sports because you have one of each of them. Girls weightlifting is a winter sport, softball is a spring sport, so you're in gear that entire time. And also one of our assistant athletic directors here at Wekiva. So Coach Griffin.
Hey y'all, so it's Coach Griffin. I'm the girls weightlifting coach, which is in the winter. For weightlifting, we will have an interest meeting next Tuesday. So weightlifting is just like cross country, swimming. It's a lifelong habit that you can have. So this is learning how to weightlift correctly will be able to help you out throughout your entire life. So it's something that you can do outside of college, outside of high school. Once you're older, metabolism starts slowing down, stay in shape, you can do weightlifting and learn good form from me and Coach Maggie. You don't have to have any experience. All grade levels, no matter how small or how small you are, you have a weight class. So if you're a tiny bit, you will never go against anyone more than 10 pounds over you. So everyone has a weight class, everyone has a spot. And I love to just say, it's one of the only sports you don't have to run. So come out and join. And I also used to weightlift myself, so I won't have you do anything that I haven't done myself. Then going over into the spring with softball, me and Coach Taylor, we have a blast with the girls from January all the way into May. Team bonding almost every week. Getting out, just getting to know all the girls. Again, no experience level is necessary. You can come out and learn the game from 2 college athletes. And our interest meeting for softball will be Thursday at 2:45. Both of them will be at 2:45 in my classroom, 542D. Yeah, 542D. If you can't reach me, you have Coach Maggie in the front office for weightlifting, and then you also have Coach Taylor in the front office for softball as well.
Thank you. Coach McGowan, anything to add to that?
McGowan during the day and Coach Taylor out on the field, but what Coach Griffin was saying, we do have so much fun with those girls out there. We're able to make it work as far as girls with a lot of experience, girls with not so much experience, but they have so much fun together. Even in the off season, they are always making us laugh. So we are welcoming anyone that would like to come to the interest meeting or just come out in January when we get started for next season.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I will definitely attest to that. Obviously, I don't get to work with the softball program as closely as Coach Griffin and Coach Taylor do, but I do follow their Instagram feed, and it is just about the most fun of any of the Instagram feeds that I follow. So they definitely have a close-knit family, and that's a program that I can't recommend highly enough. So then next up, I want to invite, let's see, who else do we have on the call here? I have Coach Taj Moody. If you are, I see you're on, there you are. Let me pull up your video, and you can talk about the lacrosse program. You need to unmute first.
Is this better? Sorry about that.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Coach Taj Moody. I am the head coach of the girls lacrosse program here at Wekiva High School. If you have never heard of lacrosse before, it is a very interesting mix of 3 parts soccer, I would say field hockey, as well as probably a little cross country as well. It's a sport where we're constantly running around, improving our ability to pass and perform tricks and shots using sticks as well as these like balls. So it requires a little coordination. However, no experience is necessary for our sport. We appreciate any and all players who are willing to come out and try out for our team. I know the girls have a fantastic time every season, and they've built a wonderful bond with each other. So we appreciate everything that Mr. Barchi does for all of our games, for his announcements at home, and for bringing the action here at Wekiva, as well as Mr. Dickerson for recording it, and for all of the athletic director, as well as for the AT here on campus. So if you have any questions, I am in classroom 541, and we hope to see you out here. Go Wekiva.
All right, thank you, Coach Taj Moody. And next up, I don't see either Coach McGuire or Coach McCransky on the call, unless iPhone is one of them. But they are our coaches for our tennis program for the girls and the boys respectively. So if you are a tennis player or have ever thought of maybe becoming a tennis player and you're a Wekiva student athlete, make sure you get in touch with them. Again, that's a spring sport, so it's going to be a while before we get to tryouts, but as soon as we get their interest meeting information and tryout information, we'll definitely get it posted on our website and our social media. And then I want to get to track and field. Track and field, we have Mark Carroll on the boys' side and Donette Taylor on the ladies' side. And Coach Carroll, maybe you want to go first, and then I'll talk to Coach Taylor, and we'll talk about our track and field program, which are doing some really great things.
I'm Coach Carroll. I'm the boys' head track coach. I'm looking forward to going to next upcoming season. You know, I got I got one kid coming back. Yeah, I know him, Noah. You know, Noah finished, you know what I'm saying, the region, like running a 22.6 in the 200, and running a 10.98 in the 100. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him come back. You know what I'm saying? He shocked a lot of people, so a lot of people asked me about him. But if you're interested in running track, we start conditioning right after Thanksgiving. And, you know, it's strictly running. So it like ain't nowhere around it. You know, and then plus it helps you, you know what I'm saying, with physical fitness for upcoming season and basketball, soccer, whatever, football, you know, but, you know, come out and, don't let it scare you away, because, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, you still get a scholarship by running.
Thanks, Coach Carroll. And now I want to invite your counterpart for the ladies' side of the track and field program. Donette Taylor is our girls' track coach.
Hi, this is Coach Taylor. I am truly excited about the girls this year. Last year they made stride, and we were pretty much a young team. So I'm truly excited to see what they do this year. So, you know, like Coach Carroll say, it's all about getting them ready for the season, which is why I encourage them to take part in cross country, where they can be conditioned and then ready to go. So I am truly excited about our young team and what they have the potential to be great this year. So I'm truly excited.
All right, thank you, Coach Taylor. I know we are all excited about that because we've seen some great things coming out of the track and field program over the last couple of seasons. And as Coach Carroll mentioned, even if you have never thought of yourself as a track athlete, there's no better way to stay in shape. Whether you're a basketball player or a football player or a soccer player, there's no better way to stay in shape than to take a look at our weightlifting and our track and field and cross-country programs, because those are just generically good conditioning for any student athlete. So speaking of weightlifting, we did, I believe, have Coach Rodriguez-Schwartz has joined the call. He was obviously occupied with football practice at the beginning of the call. But I do want to, we had an opportunity in the spring, we had an opportunity to let him introduce himself and really get to know him when he was announced as the coach of the football program. So if you have not had a chance to watch that video, by all means, head over to our YouTube channel and take a look at that. It is still up there and available for you to get to know Coach Rodriguez-Schwartz. But I do want to turn it over to him now to talk a little bit about Mustang football and the boys weightlifting program.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Sorry, I'm at my son's Pop Warner practice and stuff like that. But with the football program, as you know, we are cranking up for the kickoff classic this Friday, which we're super excited about. And then, you know, following that, we get into our regular schedule, which is going to be every Friday, going on out. And we're excited. We're putting in a lot of work and stuff like that. And then when it comes to weightlifting, we'll start weightlifting after football season and kind of carry that over. And then right now, any of those kids who still want to join football, you can. You just need to get cleared and kind of meet with the trainer and get on your horse about it. Especially our freshmen, we will have a freshman and JV team as well. And yep, that's pretty much it.
All right, well, thank you, Coach Schwartz. And yes, as we mentioned earlier before you were able to join, that, you know, while the varsity team has been well underway for quite some time now, we definitely have had some students who were new to Wekiva, maybe new to the area, missed the memo on, you know, original tryouts and practices and have joined the program. So if that situation describes you, particularly in the freshman and JV ranks, make sure you get your athletic clearance done and then get in touch with Coach Schwartz and see if we can make you part of the program.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then I do have Coach Woods. If you are on the call, kindly unmute yourself and let me know, and I will make sure to invite you to talk about cheerleading. If not, then again, I'll just make sure that your contact information is... Coach Button, thank you. We'll just make sure that that information is available in the video description, and make sure that our student athletes have access to that. We're excited about that. So once again, the contact information for all of our coaches is listed in the video description as well as on WekivaMustangs.com. That is also where you'll find all of our announcements, schedules as we get them. All the fall schedules are now loaded in WekivaMustangs.com as well as on Max Preps. We're starting to get rosters. We already have the volleyball roster published. Football and cross-country and most of the rest of the fall sports should be posted this week. And then, again, as we get the winter schedules, we will start loading them as fast as we can so that you can know when to mark your calendar. We will designate with the little video icon anything that we're planning on live streaming. We do have those Pixelot cameras. I call them the Robo cameras for those games that we can't get to, either because we don't have, maybe we're stretched too thin or two games are going on at once or something like that. We'll usually live stream one of them with Mr. Dickerson's students and the other one with the Robo camera. So between both of those, we're able to live stream the vast majority of the events that happen on campus. And we also do regularly scan NFHS Network and a couple of other sources. So if we're aware of away games that are going to be live streamed, then we will connect to those on the schedule on WekivaMustangs.com as well, so that you're aware of those goes. Obviously, especially with hopefully the health situation continuing to improve. We hope that it will continue to improve and that we will be able to enjoy having that 6th man or 11th or 12th man or whatever the case may be. We love having our fans there in person. That's always our favorite to the extent that we're able to do that. And as Dr. Drayton and Mr. Bruce mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we are able to open up our capacity this year quite a bit more than we were last year. So we are looking forward to that, but we do still like to provide those live streams because, as several of our coaches have said, we enjoy our athletes being able to have their family members, in Nebraska or in, Europe or wherever they are in the world, be able to tune in and watch live. Or, the other thing is we get it that, we have working parents, we have a lot of people with competing priorities, and we love to have you on campus as often as we can, but we do understand that sometimes you just want to see what's going on and cheer on from wherever you can be. And so that's what we try to do with those live streams, and those will all be posted to our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports, as well as on the NFHS Network, and we do link to them from WekivaMustangs.com. Again, social media, we try to be everywhere that our student athletes and their families are. I have found in my own experience that we get more student engagement on Instagram than anywhere else. We get more parent engagement on Facebook than anywhere else. We get more media engagement on Twitter than anywhere else. So we're on all three of those. We're at Wekiva Sports on all three of those. That's where you'll find results will get posted there, game updates. Anytime we have any athletes who win recognition or have a college signing or something like that, we'll announce those there. And, of course, any interest meetings or tryouts when we get close to these seasons. I am going to put up the card one more time that has all of our sports that we offer and who the contact is and when they play. I will put that up now so that you can see that. This is also, again, available on the website, WekivaMustangs.com, and the video description. So thanks for tuning in tonight. I also want to thank all of the coaches who joined us tonight and spent a little bit of their evening with us, even for the coaches that are out of season right now, taking a little bit of time away from their other priorities to introduce themselves. Again, let you put a face with a name. Thanks to Mr. Bruce and Dr. Drayton for being here tonight. And again, welcome Mr. Bruce to the Mustang family. Dr. Drayton, this is now her 2nd year with us, and we're glad to have her as well. And we're looking forward to a great season 15. Again, this is an anniversary season for us here at Wekiva. Season 15 is coming up, and it all starts this Friday with football preseason classic as we host Miami Norland, the Vikings, all the way down from South Florida. I'm glad they're the ones taking the bus ride and not us, but they are coming up to see us on Friday night at 7 o'clock. That's going to be live streamed on YouTube and the NFHS Network, and of course at Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium. Tickets available on GoFan. We hope you'll see you there. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports. Bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and